right, what we just implemented was a generic exporter of a table, right? You can just point it to a particular table. It'll iterate over the records in that table, and it'll generate an equivalent XML that has all that data in your table. Well, it just so happened that that is such a common use case, right? That you want to point to a database and export it somehow. That there's a whole set of libraries that are targeted to just accomplishing just that, and it's called the Web Row Set. Right? So Web Row Set allows you to point to a database and then populate that XML document with the values that we in that database. So instead of us writing our own write XML document or a function that can iterate over the result set and create all this XML, Web Row Set allows you to do that for you. You don't have to do it yourself. So Web Row Set allows you to pass in the metadata of the table, and then it can generate rows of XML for you automatically. So for instance, you might have the this is how you would configure it and allow you to determine what is it that which columns you want to extract, how is it that you want to convert it, how is it that how you want to validate it, and can generate for you all the metadata from the source SQL, right? And say, well, how many columns did I extract? What are all the data types? Whether the schema that's reading it, was it auto incremented? All the nitty gritty information that you might not want, right? But it can convert for you, and extract all the information from the SQL down to XML. Again, this might be an overkill of what you might want. You might only just want just the raw data, but this can be much more valuable. It has the original data type, the entire schema, right, of that original relational database is extracted and stored in an XML document, and then the actual values, right, the actual raw data. But notice that that it has very generic names for the columns, right? So column value, as opposed to the one we had, right? Ours was very targeted, right? That looked at the names of the fields, right, and generated all these columns. So this is because it's a very generic solution, right? That allows you to extract any data, any table, and export it into an equivalent XML document. Okay. Here's just an example on using a row set, where you can take a look at read the input file, right, and then can iterate over it and it can work both ways. It can work from SQL, exporting it down to XML, or from XML importing it back into SQL. It can work both ways. Okay.